Have you ever played a game so many times that you know it like the back of your hand? For people like myself, Super Mario 64 is one of those games. I know where all 120 stars are by heart, and I bet I could do it with my eyes closed. Okay, perhaps that was a bit of an exaggeration. Absolutely no one could really beat the game with 120 stars blindfolded. It's totally impossible. At least, that's what I would be saying if it weren't for Bubzia, who very recently beat Mario 64 with all 120 stars blindfolded, in a single sitting without any outside help. This run is the culmination of years of research, practice, and determination, resulting in one of the greatest gaming achievements of all time. Here's how it all started. Bubzia is a speedrunner from Germany who specializes in blindfolded categories. His journey began with good old Mario 64 16 star, where he first completed his first blindfolded run in October 2017 in a little over 3 hours. Despite the run's length, Bubzia was still the first person to beat Mario 64 blindfolded, which is no small feat. How'd he do it? Well, blindfolded speedrunners play the game much differently than a player with sight. You can't just rely on muscle memory without any visuals. You need to have a solid game plan and create a route using consistent and reliable strategies. Here's a few examples. One important concept for blindfolded speedruns is normalization. This refers to normalized moves, which are moves Mario can do where he moves the exact same number of units each time. These include Mario's moves like dry punches, punching a wall, backflipping, and even holding a direction using the controller notches. These normalized moves are crucial for making setups in specific sequences as consistent as possible. Likewise, normalized positions are also used for certain setups where you can tell exactly where you are, and can be used to reset a sequence should something go wrong. Audio cues such as certain sound effects, beats of the in-game music, or using a certain section of the song are also taken advantage of. Sometimes, blindfolded runners will count certain sounds, or just a beat in their head in order to perform a sequence. Pause buffering is also used to buffer inputs to eliminate inconsistencies with certain actions, like turning while flying with the wing cap, as well as making Bowser's throws incredibly consistent. These strategies, along with a deep understanding of the game's mechanics and level design, are paramount to beating a game like Mario blindfolded. Each star and movement in Peach's castle between levels is meticulously routed, where an idea is thoroughly tested, documented, practiced, and refined before being implemented into a run. To put in perspective how long this takes, anyone can learn a regular 16-star speedrun within a single day, and just with a little practice, can get a time under 30 minutes fairly quickly. For blindfolded 16-star, however, Bubzia took nearly 2 months before finally completing his first run, and it took years before that world record dropped below 30 minutes. In fact, out of the 10 people who have ever done a blindfolded 16-star speedrun, only 3 runners have gotten a time lower than an hour. These runs take a lot of practice and a crazy amount of memorization, and anyone that just says it's muscle memory is clearly lying. By 2018, another blindfolded speedrunner, Katun24, would perform the first blindfolded 70-star run, which does not permit the use of the backwards long jump to skip star doors and the endless stairs. This was yet another astonishing accomplishment, but Katun would take it up a notch in the following months. He began a journey to collect as many stars as possible blindfolded, with the obvious pipe dream of getting all 120 of them. He spent the rest of 2018 and 2019 routing as many stars as possible, and within that time frame, managed to collect a staggering 115 individual stars blindfolded. The only 5 he was missing were the 100 coin stars from Lethal Lava Land, Shifting Sand Land, Dire Dire Docks, Snowman's Land, and Tall Tall Mountain. It would be at least a year until Katun would revisit these stars. Over the next couple years, the blindfolded runs were optimized further, now with some help with Nobori56, a new runner from Japan. These blindfolded speedruns would remain pretty underground until 2021, when they received more exposure from top SM64 runners like Simply, as well as Bubzia's amazing blindfolded 16-star speedrun at AGDQ. Following this sudden new interest in blindfolded SM64, Khatun would route and finally collect the 100 coin stars from Tall Tall Mountain, Snowman's Land, and Shifting Sand Land, now only missing the 2 100 coin stars from Lethal Lava Land and Dire Dire Docks. While the previous 100 coin stars proved to be amongst the longest and most difficult blindfolded stars, these last two seem to be on a whole nother level. Lethal Lava Land is, well, very lethal and full of lava, and features many dangers for the 100 coin star, with a layout unforgiving for mistakes and random elements such as the bully's movement patterns. Dire Dire Docks not only contains the least amount of coins out of the game's 15 main courses, but the first half is mostly underwater, containing valuable yet easy to miss coin rings, as well as a deadly whirlpool on the center, cause why not? Intimidated, Khatun decided to take a break for the time being. Meanwhile, Bubzia, who had been running 70-star blindfolded, finally decided to pursue the goal many thought to be impossible, a single segment 120-star run. In March 2021, Bubzia began learning the remaining 49 stars he had yet to get, mostly creating his own routes and strategies. He spent the next several months catching up to Khatun, eventually matching him with 118 stars collected on September 10th. Now, it was time for him to tackle the seemingly impossible stars. And honestly, it happened way quicker than I expected.
Oh my god, dude. Oh my god, dude. Yes! Super Mario 64! Yes, dude! Finished! What in the name?
Bubzia had individually collected all 120 stars blindfolded, showing that it was indeed possible. This feat alone is incredible by itself, and he could have easily ended the journey here, but it really was just the beginning. In between doing other blindfolded categories, as well as studying for an N1 Japanese language exam, he began to route all the inputs for a run, as it was gonna be pretty long. Between 10 and 15 hours long, to be exact. Not only was he gonna have to memorize 40 pages worth of strats that he came up with, but he would have to maintain an ironclad mental game, have solid execution, maintain good pace, and not get too tired throughout the entire run. Heading into 2022, he began to look for some improvements he could make to particularly tricky stars and levels such as the Wingcap Red Coins, Lethal Lava Land, Shifting Sand Land, and Dire Dire Docks. He even discovered and documented a strange camera glitch in DDD that was messing up his 100 coin runs. It was quite a fortunate discovery from him, so he would make sure not to make that same mistake ever again. Bubzia would practice entire individual levels, making sure that he could consistently clear them. He would then spend time working on his memorization, where he would try to recite his route for the whole run without looking at his notes, as well as his endurance, where he played the entirety of the ROM hack Desert Mario 64 while blindfolded, a recreation of the infamous Sega Genesis game where you drive a bus for 8 hours. Over the past year alone, he had spent 700 hours practicing for this ultimate challenge. It all culminated on March 19th, when Bubzia sat down, put on his blindfold, and began the run. Within a couple of hours, this attempt turned into an utter disaster. He spent over an hour on the Wingcap Red Coin star, which he considered the hardest in the game. With no normalized positions or movements, he relied on beat counting and pause buffering directions on the joystick to try to get the first 6 red coins, but struggled to get solid attempts going. After that, A few unfortunate deaths in Cool Cool Mountain and the first Bowser stage set him back a bit. The nail in the coffin, however, was Lethal Lava Land 100 coins. This star alone took him well over 2 hours, leaving him mentally exhausted. A few hours later, he would collect 70 stars, beat Bowser, and called it quits. He would get his chance another day. In the meantime, Bubzia continued to practice and invent new strats, including a very consistent and very swag strat for the IROC fight. Eventually, the day of his second attempt, April 3rd, would arrive, and this run went much smoother than the first, although there were still plenty of mistakes, as well as some unfortunate mishaps, including a bizarre soft lock and other controller issues. 11 hours in, he had collected 102 stars, but was very tired. He proceeded to beat Bowser and called it a day. An improvement from last attempt, but not quite there yet. Undeterred, Bubzia continued to practice hard and improve his strats further and set a new date for his third attempt, May 8th. A few days before, he even practiced and finished a full run using save states in preparation for the real deal. May 8th would finally arrive, and they say that the third time's the charm. And well, Bubzia couldn't have gotten any luckier. The start of the run went amazingly well, plowing through the beginning stages with little issue, but the easy parts don't last long, and an hour 17 minutes in, Bubzia ripped off the band-aid and began Lethal Lava Land 100 coins. Despite the difficulty and bad luck this star had given him in the past, he made it past the first main section into the volcano on his very first try. He began to ascend, and he's now at 91 coins. Everything is going very well, but then...
Hell, what?
This bully just had to ruin everything. Just kidding, he survived. Miraculously, Bubzia managed to get arguably the hardest star in the whole run on his very first attempt. With his confidence at an all-time high, he began to play exceptionally well, even when things didn't go his way. During HMC 100 coins, he found himself in the wrong position in the center of the underground lake, and slid off the island, missing a few coins. He somehow managed to save himself and find a way to the elevator with some improvisation. He also managed to get the Dire Docks 100 coins first try, although he did have some major deaths in Shifting Sandland. But aside from that and an unfortunate death towards the end of Snowman Land's 100 coins, he was playing very well. In this run, he elected to head up to Bowser in the Sky at 110 stars, solely for the red coin star before heading down to the castle lobby for the final cleanup, ending with none other but the wing cap star. Was he gonna be stuck here for yet another hour? No. Despite not getting it the first couple of tries, he came very close before eventually getting it the 7th try. With all 120 stars in his possession, the rest was a cakewalk. He even did a swag strat on the way to Bowser.
For the fans, dude! What?
The rest was history. With that, Bubzia had beaten Super Mario 64 with 100% completion, while 100% blindfolded. One of the most legendary gaming achievements of all time, and a feat that may never be matched anytime soon. Thank you all for watching, and remember to shoot for the moon.